Hi, I often get asked to explain about the MA Designing Education. It's a 12-month master's programme based at Goldsmiths in the design school. We're part of the University of London. Now, our programme's a little bit different because we're studio-based, we're a practice programme. So we make prototypes and test new ideas in relationship to education and learning. But we're bringing two areas together, designing and education. Now, what's interesting about this programme is we have about 20 students, and half of which come from a teaching background, so they're either teachers or educational professionals, and want to use design and designing into an educational context. So we teach them about design, we help develop those skills in designing. And then on the other hand, we have artists and designers who bring their creative practice into educational contexts. So what's really nice is we have a kind of melting pot of exploring issues emerging in education. Maybe to give you a bit of a better idea about the kind of things we do. So we have core modules that explore the kind of philosophical framing of education and design, as well as more applied projects looking at the spaces and practices of education, but also an independent research project where we support the brief writing for a practice-based piece of research. Now, the projects in that help us kind of understand the programme a little bit more. So some of the teachers on the programme have been developing things like a mathematician, a maths teacher teaching through games and creating games for learning maths, or creating a maths cafe to try and understand how maths could be more integrated into what we call third spaces in community spaces to think about kind of education in a slightly different way. Also, we have educationalists who are looking at kind of post-war contexts where they're trying to think about how we can use compassionate pedagogy and kind of trauma-informed educational practices to look at how we support and create environments for learning for those students who've been through trauma. From the other side, we also have artists and designers. So we have a designer maker who's looking at redesigning consultancy models to put education in the centre of a kind of activity to help those organisations develop innovation culture and change the way they practice to be more kind of educationally focused in what they do. So developing their skills, developing their practices. We also have designer makers who look at cultural centres and how to engage practitioners in education who are from the kind of artists and designer kind of communities. We've also had some really interesting work done on well-being and compassionate pedagogies and how you translate that through making practices. So what's really lovely about the studio is we get this great dialogue between the educationalists and the designers, but we move into a new space where we're trying to innovate and look at the kind of social purpose of how design can be applied into educational contexts. If you'd like to get a bit more information about what we do on the programme, there's some more links and things at the end of this video that you can follow. And obviously we'd be delighted to have you to come and look at our studio, and we look forward to maybe seeing you in the future.